roll call for those Board of Education members who are present. Trustee Sutton Kennedy, could you perform the roll call, please?
Trustee Goodrich.
Here.
Trustee Sutton Kennedy, I'm present. Trustee Townsend.
Here.
Trustee Espy.
Here.
President Hawkins.
I am here. We have 5 Board of Education members who are present, 1 who is absent, and 1 who will be joining us later. Next, that takes us to the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, I would like to invite members of the public to join us in reciting of the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, that takes us to the acceptance of the agenda. Is there a motion at this time to accept the agenda as presented?
Madam President, I move that the Board of Education accept the agenda as presented.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Espy. Is there support for this motion?
Support Trustee Townsend.
Thank you. Supported by Trustee Townsend. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. That now takes us to item number 4 on our agenda, which is achievements, awards, and recognition. And at this time, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Zachary Ross.
Thank you, Madam President. We are just so excited to have a huge team here today representing Ypsilanti Community High School, and they are going to do their points of pride. They're led by their proud principal, Dr. Chelsea Harris-Huggins. I'll ask if she'd come forward for their presentation.
Good evening, members of the board and all of our wonderful cabinet members. Good evening. I am so excited to be here with my amazing staff and some of my amazing Grizzly Nation folks. Some of them are going to be walking across the stage pretty soon, and next week, Thursday. So super excited that they are here with us and still rolling their sleeves up to do the work. We're gonna go ahead and get started. First part of this is Igniting Futures through our CTEs. We'll talk a little bit and interchange with folks coming up. Automotive Repair and Technology is our first one up, and that is Mr. Reed Sandifer, who is our newest addition, and we are so incredibly lucky to have him. There we go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Reed Sandifer. I'm new, but I think we've got settled in pretty good and pretty quick. So this year, in the short time I've had, we were able to have 7 scholars earn their G1 ASE Maintenance Late Repair. The certification provides foundational knowledge, skills, and a industry validating edge over the competition. So other students out of high school, they're going to have that certification to be able to prove that they know what they're doing and that they are the better hire as compared to someone without it. Some real world experience we did this year. Scholars participated in hands-on activities using state-of-the-art technology that WCC has to offer. So they did diagnosing some issues, provided guidance and steps in repair. We have a student that was on the dyno. They were learning how to use diagnostics in the cars and how it shows through the dyno and everything. And then I was also able to take them to the Detroit Autorama show. This was gaining a lot of knowledge and building connections with people in industry, businesses. This show has thousands of students that come. They're the first ones that are able to be in the showroom floor to see all the cars, see all the vendors, talk to everybody before the general public even gets in there. So it's a really good opportunity for them to get one-on-one, see what they can do in the automotive field that's just not repair. They could do custom car work, they could do auto sales, they could do high performance. There's so many elements to it. And then We also provide scholars with our hands-on automotive services, so oil changes, tires, brakes, suspension, diagnostic, electrical. We have a few shop vehicles now. I believe we have 5 now, and I'm looking to get more. And I have a lead on some new engines as well that we're going to get donated. So we'll have some newer equipment in, and so students will be able to get to work on some new stuff and be able to get that experience to have to go out into the field. So thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have collision repair and technology from our pro, Mr. Keebler.
Hi, I am on my 6th year this year. Love it here. And what we do, we use the iCar Academy curriculum. It is 14 stackable certifications that our scholars can get, and it is the same thing they use for entry-level technicians at body shops, at tech schools. The great thing this year, we've had tech schools come in and talk, and they say, you can leave with the iCar Academy. And they look at me when they leave and they say, wait a minute, we're going to have that here, right? And I said, yeah, yes, you will. iCar's doing some great things. I hope to sit down with a couple and people that are in here and talk about that, what iCar is doing for education now. Skills USA, we had 7 scholars that went and competed at the regional level, made it to state. We went out there, it was in late February, and they all placed within the top 14. You see right there, we had 2 5th place finishers. One of the 5th place finishers was actually 5 points out of second from being on the podium. That's how tight it was. And then we had 6th place, 8th place, and I only took 2. Actually, I only took 1 student who competed in Skills USA last year. So those were all first-year students except 1. The one that was there last year is the one that was almost podium. So it worked great. It's a great experience for the kids to go stay at the Amway in Grand Rapids. It's fun. And then the real world experience, we have the opportunity to work on practice panels as well as customer cars doing light body repair. This year we did a little bit bigger repair on a customer car. He usually comes every year with a car, and we actually cut tail panel out and welded it back in. I had to, as you would say, really observe that one when we're getting into structure, but they did well. They enjoyed it. We're doing a golf cart right now for the same guy, just putting a paint job on it. But we do refinish, which is paint, and then damage assessment. Actually, 2 of the students at Skills USA were first years, and they actually competed in damage appraisal. And the night before the competition, a funny story, every year I've been there, I never took an appraiser, and I watched it, and they handed them a packet, and they had to take that packet and put it all in the computer and come up with numbers, and that's how they were judged. This year, the night before the competition, the guy who runs it, he says, hey, good news. We're doing live estimates tomorrow. I was like, oh, where they pulled in a wrecked car, and they had to look at the car, find all the damage, and put it in. My students had never done that. We talked about it, but they finished 5th and 6th in the state. So looking forward to it next year. Thank you.
Yes, okay. Next up, we have our lovely WB, who will present botany and horticulture, which is new for us this year.
Thank you. Hello, thank you for having me here. I'm Laurel Winnicott-Beezer. It's my first year teaching a CTE, the Botany and Horticulture program, and it's the first year of our CTE. So that's been very exciting and very busy. Some of our things that we'd like to highlight are that we received a floral design binder of materials, a $400 binder of all of the things that the students will need in order to get their Great Lakes Floral certification. We have 2 students who are actively working towards that for the fall, and who I feel confident are going to succeed in their floral design. And they made some beautiful bouquets this year and boutonnieres as well. We're hoping that eventually we'll be able to make some arrangements for like prom or for plays and things in the future. We are growing. We have students who have been working towards a 250-hour certification called ACRES 21. This is through the Michigan Farm Bureau. So they reward students for having 250 hours of experience throughout their high school career. It's widely recognized across the industry, and I have about 5 students who they're going into the second year of botany who I feel confident will meet those requirements, so that's quite exciting. They also will be presenting at the SEMI's Community Forum next Thursday. If you'd like to see us, it's at 10 a.m. at the Eastern Michigan Student Center. They'll be talking about all the ways in which we've promoted biodiversity through this program. We have established some new green spaces this year. We got our new greenhouse built. We finally got it filled with dirt, which is very exciting. We'll be able to start filling it with plants this and next week. And then things we're looking forward to in the future. Next year, we're hopefully having a composting expert help us set up larger composting. Yes, we have been planting our veggie garden. We would like to expand on our flower garden. Hopefully we could one day grow our own flowers to flower our range. Would also be a lot cheaper. And then we've been adding to our native pollinator areas to support those goals of sustainability as well. And then we just earned, I think last week we received an award for the Green Schools. You can see the award is on the slide. It's the Evergreen School Award, and it's for good stewardship of the land and basically protecting and being a champion of sustainability, which has been very exciting. The kids have been doing a really amazing job. I'm very proud of the work that they've been doing and the ways that they have made connections and extended it beyond what I even foresaw. And then we were working with facilities to create a landscaping design project. Hopefully you'll see some flowers going in around the main signs and the electronic sign. And that will be designed by students. They've created their designs, and we're working with facilities to get those planted soon. So, yeah, thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you. All right, there we go. Cosmetology is up next, and we've got some really exciting news that we'll share together.
Good evening, you all. My name is Nyree Swanson Hood, and I know you all can't see my Ipsy paraphernalia because it's in my heart. Y'all know I am a proud Ypsilanti 1992 graduate, and so I wear that with pride along with my sister here. So I'm just saying I love Ipsy. If you are anybody that knows me, you all will know that I love Ypsilanti High School. So. But the first thing on our agenda is that we want to talk about certification. So we have 7 scholars who are ready for the state boards for May 12th, and those are our second-year students. We have a first-year program that we are running inside of the high school. Our second-year program presently is on Whitaker Road at Beautiful Lux, and we are, the intention here is to bring both of those programs together. We love to do that because, one, the benefit of that is that it will give the students more hours. Right now, we're losing hours to the time frame that they're using traveling back and forth. So the great thing about bringing that program inside is that we'll eliminate that time frame and we'll give that time back to the students on their time sheet. So we're looking forward to doing that. Our cosmetology program, it allows scholars to earn hours up to 1,500 hours. It takes 2 years for that. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with how that works, but 1,500 hours. Once they receive the 1,500 hours, they will be set up to take their cosmetology license exam. This is a real live exam. This exam allows students to qualify to get into entry-level positions. In the state of Michigan, you have to have a license. And so all of you guys, you go to cosmetologists, they have licenses, and this is what we're providing at our school. That's what's so great about the program. In addition to that, we're looking into, we're doing the background work now for the barbering program. Well, I guess you probably weren't present that. For the barbering program, which is even better because with the barbering, there aren't any schools, I don't know if you all know, but Lansing all the way down to Detroit. So for us to be able to provide something like this in-house for students, like this is one of the best things I think that we could provide for kids. In terms of achievement, we were so happy this year. We were invited down to WDIV in Detroit. The morning show where students came in. So we took 2 students down. I'm not sure if any of you guys saw us, but hopefully you did. Both Dr. Hugan and myself, we were stars that day. And so we brought 2 students. They were able to take Dr. Hugan and take her from nothing, and then they transformed her makeup, they transformed her hair, and when it was all over and said and done, she ended up being the beautiful person that she is. And so yes, we're looking forward to bigger and better things next year when we bring the program back in-house, and so we're looking for. Thank you guys for the program. We appreciate it.
All right, culinary, bakery, and science. I'm gonna do that. Chef is not feeling well tonight. Just some of the highlights from this school year: the American Culinary Federation competition. We had 1 place silver, 1 place bronze. Skills USA, 8 regional medals we brought home. The Nassau Hunch, we placed top 25 for that as well. Our real world experiences, 108 total certificates. Those are certificates that, again, set our scholars apart when it comes to being able to qualify for that workforce. They have the certifications that a lot of our workforce folks or employers are looking for. So, and it also gives them 3 college credits, 8 ServSave managers positions. We also were able to gain for our scholars, 3 of them, 3 of them with college credits that were earned. All graduates earned at least 2 credits towards Culinary Institute of Michigan. Some of our scholars were able to go to Oakland University, or Oakland Community College, where they have a great culinary program. They did that last week or week before last. They were able to take some time to converse and talk to some of the scholars that were there and really get excited and immersed into that. We received a $5,000 Rachel Ray Foundation grant for some of the things we purchased. A brand new freezer with that. There it is right there. And for the Nassau Hunch program, and it makes us one of the few high schools in the country able to prepare food similar to the Nassau folks that for space flights. So it very hands-on. If you're ever at the high school when our culinary babies get off the bus, we always raid those white boxes that come off the bus because they have made some amazing food. So when they get off, we're all like, "What'd you cook today?" And then open the box. Drone aviation, Mr. Cushman, year 1 for this program, amazing program, amazing educator, teacher. Talked a lot, been interviewed 1,900 different times.
We've been popular. It's been a lot of fun. My name is Michael Cushman. I teach the drone aviation and technology course. This is our first year of this program, and it's been a great experience. It's been a lot of fun. What we're doing, our goal is we're preparing kids to take the FAA Part 107 exam. And what that does is allows them to make money, be compensated flying a drone. And this is an exciting time to be in this space because the applications and the uses for drones it's really astounding. To even start going through the different applications would be a fruitless endeavor here because it really is an amazing amount of career opportunities. And that's one of our goals, is not only to get them prepared for the 107 exam, but to also give them an idea of the different careers in aviation that are out there. There are 900 different companies just in Michigan that are related in the aviation space one way or another. And so we're exposing them to those paths, and even the ones who might find out that, hey, you know, being a pilot or a drone pilot, or we're even talking about fixed wing aircraft pilots, maybe they find out it's not for me. We can expose them to all the different careers in aviation, because less than 10% of people in aviation are pilots. There's a lot other demand and need for people in the aviation space other than just pilots. We've had a lot of successes this year. We're going to have 2 students that are presenting at the Southeast Michigan Stewardship Coalition. That's they're going to be talking about place-based education. We had one. They were flying for the botany program earlier this year, but looking forward into next year, I want to get a lot more into, because that gives kids real world, experience where they're flying, maybe mapping the grounds here, and not just here, but at the elementary schools in the area, and they can plan green spaces, and there's a lot of other things. We actually do have that planned later on. We're going to Erickson to map their grounds and help them plan a green space. See, we've had kids participate in a drone competition. That was a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. That was my first experience doing that. And so doing that next year, hopefully we'll do even better. And because now that we've seen it before and we've done it before, we're only just going to keep getting better. And then Curiosity Career, that's a new program this year with the WISD started. And we were in a couple different middle schools, and we're just exposing them to the different CTE careers. I think automotive was there. Welding was there, a lot of different programs, but we were one. So that way, when those middle school kids get into the high school, they already they've had a drone in their hands, and they can have a better understanding of if this is for me or not. All right, thank you.
I was looking to see if Mr. Kim came up. Is he? All right, I can present manufacturing. The Skills USA success, we've had many of our scholars in those advanced programs for Skills USA. I was just testing my skills here. And they've earned regional scholarships, silver at states, and math-related engineering, career and skills. 4 of our scholars have already secured positions with the union. Names are forthcoming. We'll put those out. I wanted to share that during graduation so that we do it in front of thousands of people. But again, we'll share those names with you all prior to when we're marching in. We'll share those names and whoop, whoop while we are marching in for that. 100% of our scholars have more than one state certified national certification that we have. 70% of our scholars are OSHA certified. If you've ever been into the manufacturing space, if you walk in, we have certificates that go all the way up the ceiling with nameplates of those scholars who have actually been awarded or placed or even tested in those different areas and were able to get those stackable credentials. So when we talk about workforce development, we are definitely doing workforce development and growing our scholars for college and career, not college or career. They can do both and be very successful. So just some of the real world applications using modern day technology. Some of our technology is so incredibly new that we have people that are coming in from the workforce and are looking and hiring our scholars, but having to almost retrain them on the older material because they don't yet have the new materials and the new machines that we have. So it is definitely giving our scholars that cutting edge when we talk about workforce development and when we talk about exposure to other careers and where they want to go. And if they want to do both, they're definitely able to do both. Podcasting and media production, Mr. Coe is going to come up and talk a little bit about that. And yeah, great, amazing podcasting teacher. If you look at any of our work on Instagram, he is the leader of that work and supports our babies at producing, editing, making me act silly on what running around the school. So definitely a welcome for us.
All right. Good evening, everybody. All right, a little nervous with all the bosses staring at me, but we're going to get through this. Walking into podcasting last school year, I knew I had my work cut out because the program was trying to diminish. So we put in a lot of work, and my friends over at WISD helped, with the framework, to make sure that we're aligning with CTE standards and things like that. But this school year, back in January, they finished a production of the multimedia space over in the 500 wing at the high school, and everything is state of the art. I've been in the industry myself for the better part of 10 years, and everything in that room mirrors everything that I've seen, from radio stations to professional podcast sets to movie sets. It didn't matter. We have identical equipment. So it was a privilege to be able to expose all of them to that, and also make I want to be a creator a tangible thing and not just something that we laugh at like we did 10 years ago, because it wasn't as serious. But now, as we can see, content creation in the media industry is one of the fastest growing ones, in the workforce right now. So I teach them everything industry standard, from the editing softwares that we use, which is Logic Pro and Final Cut Pro. Some of the equipment we use, Shure SM7Bs are my favorite kind of microphones, if anyone is familiar with them. They use them on XM Radio. That's the standard. So they're using those. Their digital audio workstations are in alignment with the industry. As you can see, that bottom picture right there, that's my good friend Marquise Webster. He's graduating next week. He's sitting at our engineering station, something that they had never seen before. All they saw was the knobs and the flips and the switches and the buttons and things like that. But now we're showing them how to use it. We're getting them career ready, right? Whether that's professional, podcasting or editing, professional video editing, and they do a lot of directing. They learn about their speaking points and things like that. In fact, I'm sitting next to Paris, who's in my intro to media class, and she's counting how many cuss words I use, which are really just filler words that are common in the industry. She's back there counting them right now. But the talking points they get really, really clean. And another one that I'm really proud of is the YCHS social media account is mostly student curated. Right? I facilitate it, but the students are the ones creating the content. They're putting it out. They're learning about the marketing techniques. They're learning what's right, what's wrong. They're learning what fits the brand of Ipsy, and they're also taking that and figuring out, okay, what fits my brand? How do I want to become a great creator? In fact, I want to share a little bit of a bragging point before I fly down this slide. Royce, can you come up for me real quick? Thank you. So I also have a brother, fun fact. He's in the NFL, but that's not even the coolest part about him. Right, so he takes a lot of his money and he goes diving and things like that. And a couple years ago, he calls me because I'm a professional video editor and I do a little bit of producing and things like that. And he says, "Hey, I want to go diving this off season." And I said, "Well, go. I'm not getting in the water. Go. You do you." And so he went. But then he came back and he said, "I kind of want to make a movie about this." So I'm like, "Oh, we'll do it. Do it." And he said, "You're gonna need a team." And he said, "I know. I'm on the phone with my team." So we created a movie, and that was one of the coolest things I had ever did. So he also started a nonprofit organization, and one thing that he said he needed was just like young people, creators that are hungry, that have the skills that I have. And I told him straight up, I'm 29, I don't have the time like I used to anymore. I'm actually doing this cool thing called teaching. So you're gonna need somebody. And he said, "All right, give me your best." So I said, "Okay." So I lined up about 6 or 7 of my absolute best students in my program, the ones that could keep up with the rigor I was throwing at them, the ones that were retaining everything that I was teaching them, and the ones that showed that they were serious, because it's career technical education, not just an elective, right? So I picked those students out and I vetted them for the first semester of school. And then the second semester, that 6 or 7 number got down to 3. Had 3 students, and I pulled them off to the side and I said, "You guys are doing great. You guys are doing amazing. I want you guys to compete for a spot." All right, they all know about my brother because I brag about him all the time. I said, "Look, he's working on this really big project. He's going to Antarctica next year. We're going to Antarctica to create part 2 to that movie. And he needs a production team, a huge production team." But he said, "I want young people," right? So I told these 3 people, "I want you guys to compete for a spot." He's going to offer you an internship as a young creative, leading the creative side of his nonprofit, the social media, the marketing, and a lot of content creation, video editing, I'm sorry. And they competed all second semester. So a lot of their assignments that I was assigning them, sometimes they'd be different than the rest of the class, but they were double dipping. They were getting graded for it, but they were also getting assessed by my brother and his team, right? So there's 3 spots, and they're tiered. Right? One of the spots was an internship with his nonprofit where they'd be doing a lot of video editing, a lot of the skills that I taught them, a whole lot of them, running the content side of his organization. And then that top spot will be going on that trip to Antarctica on a professional production set, right, as the young gun on set, right? So the winner of the Antarctica trip hasn't been announced. But I'm really, really, really happy to say that Royce actually accepted the internship with my brother, where he was gifted this fancy little computer down here with the proper editing software so that he has access to it no matter where he goes, because he does graduate next week. So no matter where he goes, he will always have access to everything that I taught him, and he'll be able to help my brother out as his newest intern with this nonprofit. Yeah. You said what? That is all yours. If you want to carry that, yeah, I can part ways with that. I can part ways with that. Now, back to this slideshow, because real world experience is my favorite. So I see that it says during a Women's Day event, scholars conducted interviews and produced features highlighting accomplished women from the community, including Judge Slay. She had a really cool interview with the podcasting team where they showcased their leadership and impact. Super duper cool. But that is just one thing that they've done. Almost all of the events that have to do with YCHS, the podcasting team is on it. They are broadcasting, they are creating. I am not piloting that ship. I'm facilitating the movement of it. But that ship rolls because of them. I've taught them so much. I'm about to cry. I'm a new teacher. I'm a brand new teacher. I taught them so much. And like to see them apply it and keep it and thank me for what I've been teaching them is that's huge for me and them. You know, the amount of thank yous I've been getting from them and the amount of tears and the hugs and all of that I got last week, it was huge. Because before I started working here as a teacher, I spent 8 years not working for anybody but me doing this. So all I wanted to do was pass that on so they can get a way, way earlier start than I did. And that's podcasting. All right.
Congratulations. Well deserved. Video game development is a new CTE this year. Ms. Stanzik, she's got the afternoon shift for her babies, her husband, and they split off who is doing. So today was her day to be on duty. So I talked to her and told her I would represent. But by being one of our newest CTEs, a lot of the work that came from this was birthed by our AI lab that we had with the partnership with HP, and what that looked like and how we use that high-powered tech equipment to produce those gaming pieces, and our scholars being able to write code, our scholars doing partnerships with some of the elementary schools with the drones, flying above, snapping pictures, bringing them back to that video game and development, and them doing layouts of what the gardens could look like. I think at Ford, they actually did the garden there, and the folks that actually did the work was from the layout that we did at the high school. So some of the certifications, Unity certified user, Unity artist, Unity certified user programmer, Unity certified. So we use a program that is Unity, and it has those different stackable credentials that are industry recognized from Unity. Career ready skills, they validate foundational skills in game development. If you know, that's one of the fastest growing industries next to the podcasting and all of the things that podcasting brings to the table. They build professional portfolios. Our seniors did their senior checkout on Friday, and to be able to have them come with those portfolios was amazing because it showcased who they are and their digital footprint and how positive those digital footprints are and who they decided they were in our digital world. So amazing there. Boost their resumes for college admissions or entry-level tech roles and allow for immediate opportunity for our scholars to earn money. They can also game and code and do all of the wonderful tech stuff that Ms. Stanzik would do way better justice than me expounding on. But we thought it was important to just kind of go and just look at a testimonial from one of our scholars. And he talked about the thing that truly made him fall in love with that CTE was the creativity of the craft. Something about creating his literal world and characters, villains, and it brought his life and some of the things that he was thinking and dreaming of to life just through that CTE. So an amazing CTE for some of our scholars that really like to use that high-tech equipment, that are skilled at using that high-tech equipment, and those that are more skilled are those ones that are really ready for college and career. Up and coming for our CTEs, we have our Best Pathway that will launch. It's a entrepreneurship program, and we're going to expand that. We already have it in 11th and 12th grade, but being able to strengthen that and offer those opportunities in 10th grade so that our scholars have a more cohesive 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. With 10th grade, they're starting at WCC. 11th grade, part of 11th grade, they're finishing WCC. And the second part of 11th grade through 12th grade, they're actually employed in the field that they are actually seeking during the hours that they would be at WCC. They're trading off those hours for internship programs. 7 YCHS scholars were selected through a competitive application and interview. They had to actually interview for this. For next year, we have a new barbering pathway that Ms. Nairi talked about, and just how that creates just an additional voice choice and agency. It was developed because we did a survey and we wanted to ask our scholars, what are some CTEs or what are some additional things that you wanted to learn about, and what are some things that would be engaging to you and that would be able to make you money right away. I don't know about you, but when I was in college, I think everybody had some kind of side hustle. Cookie 2 doors down from me was a backyard cosmetologist who was licensed through high school. And every Thursday, I went and got my hair done 2 doors down. Best beauty salon in the dorm that you'd ever see. But she finished and got her bachelor's in business, opened up her own shop, but she was a licensed cosmetologist. When I really talk about college and career, we can do both, and not limiting our scholars to that. The AI pathway will include generative AI, Python, and data science courses from 9 through 12. So that AI pathway, we've looked at it. They're going to do a part of it in the middle school. When they come over at 9, they'll start a second part, and it'll advance each year. So they'll do generative AI, Python, and data analysis and data science courses. Cosmetology, whoop, whoop, we're bringing in in-house. Super excited about that, and I truly, truly want to thank all of you for the support that we've received. And with that, and that barbering piece just adds an additional look for us. I think that we are one of 2 that offers barbering in-house. So just really setting ourselves apart and listening to the voices of our scholars. And then graphic design for those scholars that want to design clothing, design t-shirts, design this nice jacket, some of those things, bringing that program into our high school as a half 0.5 CTE, so looking at that. And then financial literacy and planning. How are we really setting our scholars apart and giving them some financial planning? What does that look like? What is a credit score? How does a credit score affect you? What does it mean to have credit cards? When are those credit cards due? When I get ready to apply for a house, what does that look like? What is an APR? So explaining all these things prior to graduation and prior to getting to college, when you've got somebody from a local store asking you to come and fill out a credit card. Some of y'all shaking your heads, and you fill out the credit card and you go down to that store and you charge it up all the way to the limit, and the bill comes and you're like, what do you mean I have to pay this? Like, this wasn't free. So really teaching them how to align. And if we're talking about really earning them money at an earlier age, showing them how to properly save, spend, and invest that money. So those are some of the upcoming CTEs that we are looking at with musical theater and production is an additional one that we'll be adding. So a lot of wonderful, good things happening at YCHS for the upcoming year and the following year. Dual enrollment, okie doke. I think Shunk is on baby duty too. Fall to winter semester, so some of the things, we went from 43 of our scholars to 58 of those scholars registered for WCC courses. Some of them, 8 out of the 16 were advanced Washtenaw. STEM dual enrollment went from 28 to 42. So really looking at how, again, how are we setting our scholars up for future successes, so that when you think about that advanced Washtenaw, we think about this is college and career. So they're earning credits in college as well as gaining a skill. College readiness workshops that are starting. WCC success coaches, which we've been asking for a few years, are actually partnering with us to prepare our scholars for successful start to the winter semester. So that'll start happening in September, where they'll be on site. Our scholars will also be able to go over there in that semester 2 of 10th grade and semester 2 for 9th grade for those scholars that we know are prepared and ready, and also support them with the AccuPlacer, because we know sometimes that's a barrier. So putting those supports in place to ensure that they have that AccuPlacer prep so that they can get their 6s in reading and math to be, or reading and writing to be able to go on and successfully enroll. Dual enrollment, we talked about AccuPlacer prep, success courses on campus, and then dual enrollment starting for semester 1 for 10th graders. So again, moving some of those readiness courses back and providing that exposure a little bit earlier, so that when they get to 11th grade, they are really secure in what they want to be able to do. IB diploma program. Ms. Behrman, who has been amazing. We just went for IB certification a couple of weeks ago, and we think we did absolutely fabulous. So I think we are definitely going to do a great job, and we should be authorized in just a little bit here. Did I steal your thunder?
So I'm very proud to be here to share a few celebrations and updates from our IBCP program and our soon-to-be authorized diploma program. For a diploma program, one of the strongest affirmations was the feedback that we received from the authorization team, already recognizing our strong systems and clear evidence of staff and program readiness. To prepare our students for the rigor of IB, they're currently participating in MYP level coursework that emphasizes inquiry, critical thinking, and skill development, and participating in the personal project, which allows them to apply their learning through an independent, passion-driven project. Sorry, I'm also feeling a little nervous. We've also reached several important milestones in the authorization process. All proposed diploma course outlines have been authorized by IB or approved by IB, and DP instructional staff members have completed IB authorized course-specific training. Goodness, my apologies. We are continuing to expand student access as well, with all 11th graders having access to IB-aligned courses. All current AC Tech 11th graders have this access, and IB teaching practices, including ATL skills, are embedded across all disciplines. So students are prepared and ready for what's next, and really supporting that collaboration, differentiation, and student real-world skill development. So here we just have some photos celebrating the things that are already happening in our CTEs that we've explored today. So with the career-related pathway, students have the opportunity to enroll in a CTE program while taking the IB diploma level courses. So these are just some of the moments we wanted to celebrate, including students receiving awards, being recognized, having fun and collaborating, and getting their hands on these tools to prepare them for what's next.
There we go. HBCU was first this year. We had our ninth graders that did the reptile in-house program, and then our NHS induction. So that was some of the pictures there. Our scholarships, if you take a look, 122 scholarships awarded, 4.7 million. 4.6 institutional, 280,000 private scholarships, and 100% of our graduates are walking next Thursday. And then just some other highlights from HBCU, and then some highlights from prom the other night that we had. And then we truly wanted to extend our sincere appreciation to all of you for your support. And then if we could take just a few moments, I know we're over, but to just hear some of the voices from our scholars. This way, that way. There you go.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Paris Cameron, and I'm in the 10th grade at Ypsilanti STEM Middle College. We recently got to tour all the CTE programs and we could choose from. For my CTE, I want to do CNA. Because of the program, I now see my future as being a nurse. After high school, I plan to go to nursing, and this program is helping me by giving me a head start. I am grateful for this opportunity, and I know this program will be a great experience. Thank you to everyone here who has made this pathway possible. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Travion Mills, and today I will be discussing why the IB class is a valuable opportunity for students. One major benefit of taking IB, it will make your resume stand out. Not everyone is willing to challenge themselves to advance coursework, so being part of the IB program shows colleges and employers that you are hardworking, disciplined, and prepared for difficult tasks. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Ephraim Kizia, and I am a part of the Drone Aviation CTE program while also being dual enrolled at WCC, taking courses for my college credits. A few of the skills I've learned in the CTE class is one, learning how to legally and safely fly a drone. We've studied and practiced legal flying according to the FAA rules and regulations. And another skill I've learned in this class is learning how to code a drone. We went to a drone competition where we had to program an autonomous course for our drone to fly, which was very frustrating and trial and error filled. Drone popularity is growing in many fields, including real estate, construction inspection, and exploration that is unsafe for humans, and more. I plan on going into robotics and in the engineering field, and this program gives me an edge that others don't typically get during high school. The other program I'm glad to be part of is the dual enrollment program. This program allows me to take some of my high school classes as college credits, which helps me get used to being on college campus while getting the credits, as well as give me a head start in taking classes for my career. I am quite thankful to have these opportunities, and thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rayshawn Butler, and before I get started, I want to give a big thank you to all the staff, the Board of Education, and any guests that did arrive today, because all of y'all are changing people's lives every day. Now, to start, I want to get into my last 2 years of high school because I feel like I experienced the most out of it being here at YCHS. I was in the CTE radio, podcast, and TV broadcasting class. And I was given the opportunity to work towards my certification in broadcasting. Looking back, it feels like the perfect way to end my senior year because this class has given me the experiences I've never imagined I'd have in high school. During my time with the program, I've contributed to multiple films, podcasts, and other media projects such as Detroit's On 313 Day, where we work with different artists, influencers. We've done college tours and even created short films. Each project gave me hands-on experiences where I've contributed to multiple films and showed me what it really takes to work in media production and gave me the opportunity to work with people from various backgrounds, building my communication skills, connecting with a network of support in business and the content world. And while all of the experiences were exciting and fun, they also come with a lot of hard work and responsibility. Through this class, I've developed important skills like communication, teamwork, creativity, problem solving, and professionalism. More than that, I've built memories and gained knowledge that I'll carry with me into my future career in education. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, my name is Dominic Horsch, and I'm a manufacturing student at Ypsilanti Community High School. The manufacturing program has made me much more prepared for my future because I've learned about a field that I've never been involved with before. And it helped me learn what it means to put in hard work to something to learn about it. I have learned about many fields, including precision measurement, general industry skills, and laser engraving, and my time in the class has made it possible for me to make many positive contributions for myself and for others that would not have been possible otherwise. My course and its instructor, Dr. Kim, truly do great things for students and open many exciting doors in my future, like being a CNC machinist, which I am personally considering. And ultimately, I greatly appreciate the effort put into this and all other programs at YCHS because they allow students to do and be more.
All right, and I know that we are over time, but I really thank all of you for your care, concern, support, and allowing us to do what we do at YCHS and really, really foster voice, choice, and agency when we do the offerings and when we come before you with this work. This is why we do the work. So thank you so much for allowing us to present this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Harris-Hugen, for sharing all these exceptional initiatives and achievements and accomplishments for our scholars at Ypsilanti Community High School. We didn't want to give our resounding round of applause after each person came up, but we want to make sure that each group is recognized individually for all of their hard work and their efforts in being part of this Grizzly community. So at this time, I want to invite our scholars that are here to stand up and to be recognized by the board. You all have done an exceptional job. Keep up the outstanding work. Are there any caregivers or families that are joining us this evening? If so, please stand to be recognized. Next, I would like to invite all of our Ypsilanti Community High School educators, staff members who are here present to stand and be recognized. I feel like we are thoroughly downloaded on what is happening at Ypsilanti Community High School, and we are doing some exceptional work in this community and in this district, and we are very proud of each and every one of you. I'm going to open it up to the board for comments, questions, so we might need you to come back up, Dr. Harris-Hugen, if the board has questions. Board members, do you have any comments? Yes, Trustee Sutton Kennedy.
I just wanted to thank all of the staff, families, and students who came to share all of the exciting things that are happening at the high school. It's a lot and it's exciting.
Yes.
So many opportunities and options being made available to our scholars, and that's exciting work. And I appreciate you all for taking the time to come and share all of the exciting news and achievements with us today.
Thank you, Trustee Sutton Kennedy. Trustee Townsend.
First of all, I would like to all
It's blinking.
Okay. All right. So what I wanted to definitely say is I want to thank all of our scholars. I was very impressed with how you articulated your thoughts, how you explained the career paths that you are choosing to go into, or what your plans or future plans are. I think that's very important to be able to stand up in front of individuals and clearly articulate what you're doing. So kudos to you and all of the hard work you're doing. To the team, I especially want to say thank you because it is very evident that you care about what you're doing and that you're passionate. When you have a passionate teacher, it reflects in the students and how successful they are. So I want to say it is thank you really to you. All we do is make policy and approve all of the money that we're spending. We're going to spend some more on cosmetology today.
Yes, we are.
And so, I'm very happy with cosmetology for the fact that we knew if we brought it in-house, it would be successful. And it's the numbers, I care about the numbers. And I like the fact that we have, 7 students that are testing tomorrow. So thank you for that. But I just really, again, want to say thank you to all of our teachers, because it is really you that helps drive what we do. And your labor and work and passion is not in vain. This is a prime example of what that hard work and passion does. And you just really never know who you're teaching. You don't know who they're going to be, what they're going to do, but I'm pretty confident that these scholars here tonight are going to make us proud. So thank you again to all the parents that consistently drive, take them places, because you all go a lot of places. A lot of places. We approve a lot of trips. And that's a great thing. But I'm so happy that you all are doing such great work, and we just look forward to seeing this district continue to grow and be excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Townsend. Other board comments or questions?
Yeah, I also just want to name that I recognize that having all of these options, right, requires a lot of coordination and a lot of folks and moving parts to make sure that our students are able to have that opportunity to dual enrollment, be able to be in CTE and IB, right? And do all these things because ultimately, you talked about voice, choice, and agency, and I think that is that 100% graduation there's a direct correlation between this offering of voice, choice, and agency and allowing for our students to find where they can thrive. And I think that is a huge difference within our district and how we are operating as a whole, because I think that all of our students and all of our scholars have amazing potential, and when we give them the opportunity to excel in what they're passionate about, this is what we see. We see this 100%. We see these opportunities coming forward. And so I just want to thank you again for the coordination. And I know it's not necessarily the most conventional way of running the schools, but I'm really grateful that this is what we have invested in. And it's coming to fruition. And so I appreciate that I can see where this investment is going. And even through, I think about the CTE millage that we passed this year, right? And again, where this is showing up in our district as well. So thank you for using those dollars, using our community dollars to really advance our students.
Thank you, Trustee Espy. Any other board questions or comments? Again, congratulations on the exceptional leadership that is coming out of this school. All of the hard work, determination, resilience that our scholars are demonstrating each and every day, to everyone who is the village in this school, pushing, encouraging, creating pathways, access points, exposure, and opportunities. We just say thank you for representing this community and your high school and yourselves so well. So let us give everyone who is here this evening another round of applause. All right, next that takes us to, we are at action item number 5 on our agenda, which is under student affairs, and that is the acceptance of a field trip request for our Ford Early Learning Center. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, I move that the Board of Education approve the field trip of Ford Early Learning Center to the Toledo Zoo in Toledo, Ohio on May 13th, 2026.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Espy. Is there support for this motion?
Support, Trustee Sutton Kennedy.
Thank you. Supported by Trustee Sutton Kennedy. Any questions, board, on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Next, that takes us to the acceptance of a field trip request to our from Ford Early Learning Center on June 2nd to Toledo, Ohio.
We just did that one, didn't we?
It's another one.
Sorry.
That's okay. Next is the acceptance of a field trip request for Ford Early Learning Center on June 2nd to Toledo, Ohio. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, I move that the Board of Education approve the field trip of Ford Early Learning Center to the Imagination Station in Toledo, Ohio on June 2nd, 2026.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Goodrich. Is there support for this motion?
Support, Trustee Townsend.
Thank you. Supported by Trustee Townsend. Any questions, board members? Discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Next, that takes us to the acceptance of a field trip request for Ypsilanti Community High School Band Camp happening August 10th through the 15th of 2026 in Leonard, Michigan. Is there a motion at this time?
Trustee Townsend moved that the Board of Education approve the week-long field trip of the Ypsilanti Community High School Marching Band Program August 10th through 15th, 2026 to learn the 2026 Marching Band Show.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Townsend. Is there support for this motion?
Support, Trustee Goodrich.
Thank you. Supported by Trustee Goodrich. Any questions or discussion, board? See none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. That now takes us to item 6 on our agenda, which is our first public comment portion for this evening. Ms. Haynes, have any public comment cards come in? Thank you, Ms. Haynes. That now takes us to our presentation for this evening, which is the FTE Staffing Projection and Talent Management Report by Ms. Sue McCarty. Dr. Zachary Ross.
Thank you, Madam President. Each year, in the MASB checklist, there's an opportunity for the board to review the data that we've collected regarding our projections for class sizes and how many, our staffing FTE. So our Human Resource Director, Ms. McCarty, really does a lot of work behind the scenes to pull together. Remember, these are projections based off of the feedback we've gotten from our staff, our administrators, and as we roll up our data. So thank you, Ms. McCarty, for this work, and we look forward to your presentation.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the Board of Education. I am happy to present this May projections. I am surprised that it's already May. So here's where we are. This is my favorite graphic of where we are. So we gather the data using PowerSchool, using what the buildings are providing, and then projecting the FTEs based on how many scholars we're going to have enrolled. To gather this data, we consider these items: staff to scholar ratio, partnership agreements, budget, IEPs, increase in the multilingual students, especially since we will be adding the 5th grade this year at Puentes. Then we consider the funding for Title I based on state formularies, how much money we have, how many staff scholar needs, as well as how many staff to meet those needs. And then ultimately we have to consider teacher certification. The projections we have are point of time projections based on data from April 16th PowerSchool. So this is Beatty Early Learning Center. Currently we have 119 scholars. I believe that we have filled that role. We have 120 capacity. We will be at full capacity and most likely our full capacity now. In order to meet those needs with the Head Start GSRP regulations, we would need 21.4 FTE there. That's because we share some services. There's not a 0.4 of a person, but 0.4 of services. And then looking forward to Ford, currently we have an enrollment of 286. We're projecting that next year we will have 343 based on the roll-up numbers from Beatty and Ford and Perry, and I'll explain more in a moment. So based on that, with the OTs, the teachers, and all of the ratio that we need, we're looking for 56.15 FTE at Ford. Then going to Perry Early Learning Center, we're currently at 391. We do expect an uptick in that one as well to 424. And based on that, we're looking for 55.85 FTE there. Some exciting news about the early learning centers is that Early Head Start is completely full. GSRP will be by July 1st. And then Head Start, we're waiting for the open opportunity that WISD provides on May 25th, and we anticipate being fully enrolled in Head Start. So all of the slots that they provided us through the state, we should have complete enrollment in the early learning centers. Erickson, by just a simple roll-up, we see a small decline in students, and the slight decline is the 1st grade right now at Perry and Ford. But we don't truly anticipate that decline, but it is what the numbers say. And so based on that, Erickson would need 31.21 FTEs. Esterbrook also is projected with a slight decrease. However, I spoke to the principal today, and we have now have all of our 4th grades at 31 plus students. So it looks like that we might be actually in an increase this year, but as of that point of time, this was how the projections rolled out. So for Estabrook, we're looking at 40.7 FTE to cover all of the needs of our scholars there. Moving on to Holmes. On Holmes Elementary, we are currently at 197. We're projecting to be up to 206, but if I know Mr. Schutz, he's going to try to get that number way up. Remember, we're still recruiting, and we're still out there. And not only that, we have the recruitments on our marquees now, and we're out there everywhere. And we will be adding additional classrooms because the portables are going up. John's taking care of that, and that will be great. Looking at Puentes, as I said, we're going to add the 5th grade now. We have actually hired the 5th grade teacher from our International Alliance group, and he will be coming to the United States this summer. And so we anticipate enrollment going up to 146 there. And the FTE that we need is, I lost my FTE, 25.75 to cover the needs at Puentes. Looking at WISE, we are currently at 405. We anticipate there being 385 next year. And based on that, we're looking at 37.7 FTE for WISE. Moving on to ACE. ACE is down just a little bit, but in this school, enrollment increases as the year goes on. So we anticipate not being less next year at ACE, but actually being even or even more students. And so based on that, we need 25.7 FTE there. YC2S. Currently, we have 105 students there, 105 scholars there. And based on that, and hopefully some new programming, we will require 22 FTE for YC2S or IPSY Connected. Moving on to YCMS, we are expecting an increase there based on the 5th grade numbers. So based on those 5th grade numbers and positive programming and marketing and just all of the great things that are out there with YCMS, we expect to have an uptick in student enrollment there. And based on that, we're going to need about 56.1 FTEs. It says final recommendation to be determined. That slide just printed like that. That's not to be determined. 56.1 is what we anticipate. And then looking at the high school, right now we have 517 projected for next school year. It's like the 9th grade class is just a little bit smaller than rolling up, but I'm hoping that people are watching these board meetings. We're recruiting students. We have new programs every day. We hope to see an increase at the high school. Right now, we have a projection of needs of 478.5 FTE, which is up from our 444.96 from last year. So we're looking, and the reason for that is we have the IB programs, we have more CTE programs, we have more grade levels, we have added the whole Puentes school. So with our FTE requests and projections, we just want to support our 3 priorities of accelerating academic excellence, advancing future-ready preparedness, and allocating resources equitably. And finally, this is just a little snapshot of where we have the needs: special education teachers, social workers, ancillary staff. We'll continue to work with all of our IAGs, our WISD partnerships, our own recruiting and frontline, as well as other resources to fill those positions, as well as 31A social workers. we would really like to have a multi-language learner, social worker, and we will need a couple of Spanish immersion teachers along with general education teachers. A strange need that's coming up lately, the last year or two, is a surprising lack of PE teachers. So we're going to start working on that. We're hoping that the MARC program, which I just spoke with Mark, who had met with MARC, and we're going to have 37 in one semester for GLC and then 38 in another semester. So we'll be looking very closely at those candidates because we've had success in recruiting from that resource of excellent teachers. And based on all of that, we're anticipating at least a positive of plus 99 in scholars for 26-27. And that was not as much fun as the high school, but what questions might you have?
Thank you, Ms. McCarty. Board members, what questions might you have?
I'm gonna have a question. What are we going to be doing any marketing in regards to enrollment for increasing some of the schools that may have just the district overall? What type of marketing are we doing?
In terms of scholars,
Yes.
I'm going to have to defer to Alina for that because I'm marketing for staffing.
Okay.
Yep, so we continue to do we're looking at the bus wraps. We have the bulletin from Adams Outdoor.
Oh,
The
yeah,
board
on
we have
94.
from Adams Outdoor. We have proposals from K-12 Media as well as Lambert in terms of what we're going to specifically, which advertisements were beneficial. So we're looking at that data versus just before, as you know, we did radio and we did some other ads. We just need to make sure we choose ones that will actually target those areas. So to prepare for this summer.
Yeah, I meant to say marketing for staff.
Oh, sorry.
No, you were right. You were right. I'm like, I sit on communications. I know that. But I'm kind of just all over the place today. But I meant for staff because I know we have some other districts that may have some challenges. And, we may be able to recruit some of those teachers back to the district.
Yes, we're absolutely doing our internal career fair, our own internal career fair in early June. We were doing it in later May, but we weren't capturing the students because they were trying to graduate, and we felt like the data supported maybe an early June career fair. We're going out to career fairs. We saw a surprising increase in student attendance in the career fairs because we almost abandoned that source. We're also going to be using our frontline. Our administrators recruit unmercifully and unapologetically. They recruit, and then once they throw some candidates at me and I throw some candidates at them based on that, we're also considering other resources like Red Rover and other recruitment sources for getting staff. Also word of mouth. Also using IAG. We have used them for mainly multilingual, but we can always use them for general education. And then there's one other for special education. Dr. Zachary Ross, do you know what one it just is escaping me, but we're recruiting actively that way. And then we are using that WISD partnership to get some of those special education social workers in-house. And using Charissa in terms of getting the 31As. Several of them have expressed that she was a great mentor and they'd like to come and work for us.
So with the new partnership with with Eastern, with the students being able to get into Eastern, have they had any conversations about their education department? I know we used to, in the past, have a large funnel of educators that graduated from there coming to, YCS. Is there any other conversations?
Yeah, we actually are paying for the next scholars, people who are in the program to get their degrees through the WISD, a grant we have in partnership. So we are actively working with those Scholars Next people. So they are currently in school to be educators. And then they come and apply to Washtenaw County Schools. So we make sure they know about us so that it's a partnership. So that since we pay for that degree, then they are coming to work at Washtenaw County School District. So we are doing that. We also have a program with them, and it's a small program. We really hoped that it would really flourish more students, but we have the education students in a 2x2, correct? 2 years at Washtenaw Community College, and then we pay for 2 years at Eastern so that they can come back to us and Lincoln to work. So we have 2 programs currently.
And the para to teacher program. And one of our para to teacher graduates will be joining us at Esterbrook Elementary this year. So those students do not have to come directly to YCS. They can go anywhere in Washtenaw County, but they're choosing to come back to us.
Any other board questions? Thank you, Ms. McCarty.
Thank you.
Next, that takes us to the consent agenda. Is there a motion at this time?
Trustee Sutton Kennedy, move that the Board of Education approve the 1 meeting minutes, 2 personnel matters as per the presented list dated 5/6/2026, new hires, resignations, terminations, and retirements.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Sutton Kennedy. Is there support for this motion?
Support. Trustee Goodrich.
Thank you. Supported by Trustee Goodrich. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. That takes us to our first action item under Student Affairs, and that is the approval for our annual instructional material and contract renewals. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, I move that the Board of Education approve the 1 American Reading Company quote for a purchase amount of $48,400, 2 American Reading Company quote for a purchase amount of $58,050, 3 American Reading Company quote for a purchase amount of $12,000, 4 Pediatric Therapy Associates LLC quote for $43,746, 5 Visible Learning Proposal for $79,900.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Goodrich. Is there support for this motion?
Trustee Espy, I support.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. That now takes us to the acceptance of the Ypsilanti Community High School Cosmetology Renovation Bid Award. Is there a motion at this time?
Trustee Townsend, move that the Board of Education approve the contract award to Carpentry Concepts for a YCHS cosmetology renovation of $397,296.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Townsend. Is there support for this motion?
Support, Trustee Sutton Kennedy.
Thank you. Supported by Trustee Sutton Kennedy. Any questions or discussion, board?
Trustee Espy, I'm just curious where this will be situated, like within within the high school, like physical space.
It's in room, it's right by the,
Thank you, Mr. Birchwell.
it's right by the,
It's gonna be where the year 1 cosmetology room is right
Okay.
now, across from the auditorium, and we're gonna move year 1 behind there. So it's gonna have a year 1 classroom and a year 1 for cosmetology and a year 1 barber shop, and all in the same wing where the podcast room is gonna be like a CTE wing, and then we're gonna build out the beauty salon here. And if I got Kyra Copeland from TMP here tonight, so if she can help address any question, we worked really hard on this design for you guys.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Thank you, Mr. Birchwell.
Thank you.
So a motion was made by trustee Townsend, supported by trustee Sutton Kennedy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Next, that takes us to the acceptance of the Homes Modular Furniture Award.
Trustee Townsend moved that the Board of Education approve the contract award to Lakeshore Furniture for furniture at Holmes Elementary School for a total award of $85,129.38.
Thank you. A motion was made by trustee Townsend. Is there a support for this motion?
Trustee Espy, I support.
Thank you. Supported by trustee Espy. Any questions, board? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. And that now takes us to the Washtenaw ISD budget resolution, support for the budget for the 2026-2027 school year. Is there a motion at this time?
Trustee Espy, I move that the Board of Education adopt the WISD budget resolution.
Thank you. A motion has been made by trustee Espy. Is there support for this motion?
Support trustee Sutton Kennedy.
Thank you. Supported by trustee Sutton Kennedy. Any questions on this item, board members? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. That now takes us to public comments. Our second portion for this evening. Have any public comment cards come in? Thank you, Ms. Haynes. Jeremy Haley, you may come up and address the board. And before you speak, I just want to read the public comment protocol. Pursuant to Board of Education Policy 0167.3, the board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express their views. Please limit statements to 3 minutes in duration. Participants shall direct all comments to the board and not to staff or other participants. No person may address or question board members individually, and all remarks shall be made in a respectful and professional manner. Jeremy Haley.
Yes, Jeremy Haley, Ypsi Township. It's nice to see that there was quite assortment of CTE programs and stuff, and a lot of them was nice to see that the robots won't be taking a lot of those over for quite some time, because I don't know, for a barber, you don't want to go to a robot. You might wind up a little light on top or something, and that's what I'm kind of here to talk about is, as the students going through, is anything being brought up as kind of, we got to do right for the environment, save electricity, put solar panels, use wind, not use fossil fuel. But at the same time, the schools and everybody's saying, let's use AI, because AI is going to help people. But I don't know if you heard or not, because I keep up on the oil and gas industry a bit, that Microsoft is putting up a 5 gigawatt liquid natural gas generating power plant for their data center facility. This facility is generating electricity just for the computer. It's not for human consumption at all. Is there anything being taught to the students as you use this? You're using a resource that uses high water, high energy at the same time. Meanwhile, I fear what's going to happen, they're going to put all their dedication towards that. And meanwhile, people, you can't use electricity. Can't use water at certain times. You're going to be banned on electricity. You can't use electricity at certain hours because it all needs to go towards the computer. Are the kids being taught something that philosophically on that terms, because you're being told to use this, but on one end, I don't know if you, well, probably not, but the Permian Basin and all the other pockets of gas and oil, they're going down. They're decreasing. Like we've been told in the 80s, by 2000 we're going to be out. Well, we still got some, but it's starting to burp and go really low. And we're putting all our resources towards the computer and telling our kids to use it. That's their future that we're using them telling them to go towards blindly while using the resources in the other hand. I don't know how you guys compute that and teach that to the kids, but that is a very important thing to do because it's their future. And if we use up all the natural gas and all the sources and only have solar and whatnot, what do they do? You know, so thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy Haley. Next, that takes us to our Board of Education subcommittee reports. Any subcommittee reports at this time? Thank you, Trustee Goodrich.
Thank you, Madam President. The policy subcommittee met for 2 hours on April 29th and got through 53 policies, and we're doing it again tomorrow. I want to express appreciation to the team from administration for doing some of the advanced work to make sure that we have administrative recommendations in place when we review these. It's been really crucial for making it possible to get through the policies in time, and I think it's been really helpful to have the whole team familiar with the policies as we move towards implementation. And just a quick note for those on the policy subcommittee, for those policies where we have administrative recommendations clearly indicated and no committee members have flagged anything for discussion, we're going to move through those pretty quickly tomorrow. So please make sure that if there's something we need to discuss that you flag it, and I'm going to be running through all those tomorrow morning.
Excellent. Thank you, Trustee Goodrich, for your leadership. Any other subcommittee reports?
So participated in the scholarship event that they had, and I believe they gave out about 16 scholarships. I'll confirm that number again, but it was a good time to be had, and we're very excited. I'm very excited that they continue to thrive. So I believe everybody that applied, most of everybody got a scholarship in some form.
That's outstanding.
Yep.
Thank you, Trustee Townsend, for your leadership and making sure our scholars are getting the money they need to further their education. Any other subcommittee reports?
Trustee Sutton Kennedy.
Yes.
There is a legislative breakfast on Monday, May 18th, 7:30 a.m. The agenda came out today. It looks like it was only sent to the LRNs for each of the boards, so I just forwarded it over to the full board in case anyone wanted to add anything or to the agenda or request any updates on the agenda. But I wanted to let y'all know that that was coming up on Monday, and then I'll, of course, send out a summary after the breakfast.
Excellent. Thank you, Trustee Sutton Kennedy, and for your leadership as well. And thank you for forwarding the email so that we all have the information. Any other subcommittee reports?
Finance and operations, we did go and do the bidding process. That was pretty interesting for food services. So we went to every last cafeteria in the district. And I rode with Dr. Lopez. But I survived. And but it was a very interesting process. Ms. Boone did an excellent job coordinate that, and so we're looking forward to receiving bids for food services.
Excellent. Thank you, Trustee Townsend. Any other subcommittee reports? Okay. Seeing none, we are moving on to board superintendent comments. Board members, what comments might you have?
I just want to say I was able to attend both the Grizzly Awards and Finding Nemo Jr. in the past, since our last board meeting. The Grizzly Awards was an incredible celebration of our staff and administration. As always, I think goes to Raymond Alvarado for the production quality, but I think it's something that is incredibly exciting to see our staff and our administration celebrate each other and the value our team, our staff put on these awards and the appreciation they show in those moments, it really matters. And I think it's clear how much this district cares about the folks who work here. And it's a testament to the emotions that show up during that evening, the joy, the celebration. And so I was just really appreciative to be able to attend again this year. And I love that the district continues to celebrate the folks who work here. And I also, with Finding Nemo, it was beautiful. It was the middle school's play. We got to see a preview here, and it did not disappoint in any way. It was so fun. In fact, it was the lighting, the acting, all the set production. It was incredible. And I know that the school just wants to keep on building on that momentum. And I'm ready to support continued growth of their theater program, because we see some students who are very excited about this, right? And they've continued to come back to it. And it is such a great opportunity to showcase their talents and be in front of folks and practice their public speaking and be proud of who they are. And I just really appreciated it, and I was so grateful to be able to attend. I was there with Trustee Townsend and Trustee Fields, and we even got to take a picture with one of the stars, Little Nemo Jr. So just wanted to thank everyone for that.
Thank you, Trustee Espy. Other board comments? Yes, Trustee Sutton Kennedy.
Thank you, Trustee SB, for reminding me that I did omit one committee report, and that is from the MICIP. Is that how you say it? We had that meeting on April 23rd. That was after our last board meeting. Ms. Neal presented on all of the STEAM efforts across the district. It was a very enlightening meeting that showed how all of the various CTE and other efforts connect from elementary all the way through high school. And so that committee is really special because we have board members there along with administration and students. I'm sorry, not students, but also parents as well. And so it's nice to hear the questions and be informed on the things that are going on in the district and showing the intentionality behind the various grants and programs that are being put on in the district.
Thank you, Trustee Sutton Kennedy, for that additional report, subcommittee report. Any other board comments?
Yes, Madam President. So I was able to also attend the Grizzly Awards. It was fabulous. Mr. Alvarado and his team does an excellent job. It was hilarious with all of the different videos and things, but it was very, very nice. And I want to just send a very special congratulations to all of the recipients, but of course, Ms. Geraldine Lynn, for all of her service that she's provided to the district. Finding Nemo Jr. was absolutely outstanding, awesome, excellent. We have to continue to boost our theater and drama program from middle school on up to the high school, but it did not disappoint with all of the effects, and it just kept you engaged the whole time. So kudos to Mr. Davis and his entire team at the middle school. Of course, I attended the scholarship event. Our scholars continue to thrive and do excellent, and I'm just excited to see what their next journey will be, and of course excited to participate in graduation. I attended the community board conversation that we had with Redemption. That was also a good event as well. I got a lot of positive feedback from some of the parents that did participate, and they definitely thought that this is something that we should continue to do, just to bring the community in. Of course, for us to also push for, or have parents advocate for people to attend more of those conversations. And then I also received several DMs from other people in other districts asking a ton of questions about how they too can do what we do. So they're definitely watching. Cheese, anyway. But we're so excited, I have a petty moment every time. But anyway, I'm just thankful that we continue to do what we need to do. And hopefully, I'm very confident that we're going in the right direction. And just again, thank Dr. Zachary Ross and her team, the whole administration team, for their continued hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Townsend, any other board comments?
I just want to add from the Grizzly Awards, a group that didn't have to necessarily show up, but did and made a big difference was the cheer squad. And I just appreciate even our students getting involved in that level. And so I just wanted to thank them for participating and being part of building that atmosphere. But that was the only additional comment I wanted to add on that.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes, there is a lot happening in the district. I would echo everything that's already been said, would echo the sentiments about how much good energy comes out of the Grizzly Awards every year. And I know a lot of hard work goes into putting that on. So kudos to everyone who was part of that team to make it happen. I know we just celebrated our seniors with their clap out. And that what culminates at the end of the school year is graduation, which is one of the very big events for us. But there are a lot of events happening in May that we all will try our best to make sure we can attend different events at various schools, and look forward to the upcoming graduation that is coming up very quickly. I feel like we just launched the school year and now we're already graduating our scholars. So that is a very exciting event every year to see the hard work, the accomplishments, and the families who are there to celebrate, and we're there to celebrate with our scholars. So that is an outstanding event that we are looking forward to later this month. And I will turn it over to Dr. Zachary Ross for superintendent comments.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a whole list of things that are coming up. I'm just going to try to highlight a few. However, I do want to go back because you guys mentioned most of the events. One of the events I don't want to go away to, because we talk about parents. We want to thank Miss Allen, Miss Sharisa Allen, and her team for putting on the wonderful Mother's Day event, and all the mothers who came out. Because people talk about, like, what are you doing with parents? And we have so many, and that one was just a wonderful, beautiful event. And having parents from representing each of the buildings was so special. So we just want to thank her team. We also want to thank the scholars who, when we had the community event, Puentes came out, as well as Finding Nemo. So we want to thank those scholars who they really bring our programs together. And as you talked about, Trustee Townsend, just them being at some of the events just really highlight it. Number one, brings out their parents, and number two, really demonstrate the connection to our strategic plan. So we're going to thank our scholars for always just coming out and representing. I know that I put in the board update but for the community, we had to present at our VILS conference, our Verizon Innovative Learning Schools. We're going to have 2 ACE, as well as Ypsilanti Community High School, where our scholars will get computers with internet through Verizon for the next 4 years. And the wonderful thing about and we had to attend so that we can get those devices. What we did not have to do is have our scholars represent. However, when the first day we presented, the Chicago Public Schools scholars came right after our presentation. They were live and in person, and people's feedback was so positive about having student voice. And they said at the last moment, so that was like Tuesday when we presented, we had to present again on Thursday, and they said, "Can your scholars come?" We're like, "Can they come to Chicago?" They're like, "No, well, can they come virtually? Would they be able to just answer those questions?" And they're random questions. And our Mr. Hauser, our podcast, you saw him today. He was like, "We can make that work." Wow. And the scholar said, "Yes, we can answer any question from any superintendent." There were superintendents, educators, mostly principals, and central office staff. and our scholars represented. They answered questions from educators across the nation who were interested in what they were doing, and they just stole the show. They said they were nervous, but they did. They still represented themselves, and we kept saying, you know, the comment, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. They were ready. They were ready, and I'm just so thankful to our educators, as you all highlighted, that they have, in order for them to be able to present to a national audience, they've got to be ready. They can't just, you can't get them ready in a day, even though they had heard about it. They have to be prepared to answer questions, to answer succinctly. They did not know. There was not a script. The people in the room, they just put the microphone around the room, and each one of them took time to answer the questions. There was not one scholar who just took over all the answers. Every single one of them answered, and the answers were appropriate. The answers were well thought out, and you just should know, you should be very proud of those scholars. And they just represent like what all of the other ones you saw tonight represented. So we just are thankful to our educators, to our parents for allowing them to participate. We do have tomorrow as a student showcase at the high school, which we're really excited about. Their STEAM night at Ford on May 14th. There is a soul food and games night, because again, people ask, do you get the parents involved? Yes, we do. And we try to bring them in for different ways. And that one is also on the 14th. We know our parents, you see the flyer there on the wall for the FACE conference. Remember, that is our family and community engagement. They have said we want another mental health awareness fair. It's going to be at Prospect Park on Saturday, May 16th, starting at noon. We have our parents with the principal and coffee at Ford Early Learning Center on May 18th. A wonderful spring concert from WISE on May 19th. And the same day, so competing spring concert at Holmes on the 19th. We're excited about our Unified Arts Night for our second and third grades, a concert at Estabrook on May 20th. And then the big event, the Ypsilanti Community High School and ACE graduation at George Gervin Game Above on May 21st. That day is our World Culture Day at Ford. And then on the 22nd, we have a half day. And I want you to know that half day is for our scholars, so that in the afternoon, our educators can put on an educator innovation summit. And so all of those breakout sessions that will be led are led by our very own educators. They are teaching each other, really talking about the best practices, what they found through their teacher action research, what they've done through both our Driving Possibilities work as well as our magnet work with IB and STEAM. They're going to be teaching all afternoon. So parents, we know half days are tough. Please do send them, and it is for the benefit of what happens in our classrooms, really demonstrating what powerful practices are. No school on the 25th, and then we get into all our field days. We have our celebration of learning at WISE on the 27th. We have another move up ceremony of our youngest ones, our Beatty, on May 27th. That'll be super fun. Our 180 programs that really does their appreciation days will start on the 27th, along with our Y-High. We have a large number of Y-High graduates this year at Hill Auditorium on May 27th. The end of the year preschool ceremony at Ford also on the 29th. And then for the last roundabout of promotion ceremonies, an 8th grade promotion ceremony at Ypsilanti Community Middle School on May 29th. So we will be full of events. And then you guys talked about the musical. So the last comment, Sister Act Junior musical moved to the end of the month because of so many things happening at the high school. May 29th and May 30th. We cannot wait to see that. It's going to be amazing. So please come out to support our scholars in the Sister Act Junior at Ypsilanti Community High School, May 29th and May 30th.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Zachary Ross. Before we move to adjourn, are there any other comments from the board? Seeing none, the time is 8:23, and